Good morning, it's Tails from Studio Walford here. Forgot my own name for a moment there. Hello, it's Monday morning and I'm back for another live stream of map building something. Um, yes, so good morning. What am I looking at here? This is the village of Carlsberg, which you may have seen in my last live stream. Very short period of time. This is my draft adventure map, or sort of, this is how I draw. If I just, where's my zoom? Zoom. Zoom in a little bit. Hang on. I'm using my tablet. I can use this. Come on. There we go. Okay, controls are working. It's good for a Monday morning, isn't it? When things don't work. Okay, so this is the village of Carlsberg. Since I also sort of do like I use this as like a lore podcasty type opportunity where I get to talk about my adventure worlds while I'm building adventure maps and other thing. I'll talk about this village. So this village that I've just drawn. Well, I haven't just drawn it. I drew it a couple of weeks ago. But it's in now the Trader's Way is a great big road that runs around the world of the cube, and in a stretch where it's a couple of days travel between each village or each major settlement, a couple of entrepreneurs, good couple of years ago, they founded a tavern called the Mother's Arms, and this is the Mother's Arms in the middle, just here. And let's see if I can get a bigger. There we go. You should be able to see that better. Yeah, the Mother's Arms Tavern in the middle here, and pretty much this entire village supports this tavern. Pretty much, the tavern is the main driving economic thing of the town, and then other major settlements are pretty much like 2 to 3 days march away from this place. So pretty much everybody who comes through is going to stop at the Mother's Arms Tavern. And the village is it's actually an interesting thing. It's a double layer village. So you've got the Mother's Arms Tavern here, and I'll just pop in an extra layer and I'll grab my pen. So this is the building here. And don't worry, I'm not drawing on my map. I'm actually drawing on a layer over the top. See, look, woohoo! That's the Mother's Arms Tavern. Then you've got the blacksmiths, who is here. These guys. You then have, so this is a warehouse for the Mother's Arms. And I'm pretty certain this is a warehouse for the Mother's Arms. Then you've got, just here, is the Pool of Remembrance. So there's the nice little water feature, some trees, and there's a set of steps coming from the main road down to the pool. So nice little place where you can get some water and whatnot. Across from that is another building. I'm trying to remember who is in here. I know the carpenters are in this big building because they're quite important. I've got a funny feeling this may be the stonemasons. The stonemasons' main building. You've then got I think this building was the money changers, where you can get your currency changed. And then I believe these guys were tailors. These guys, can't remember what but basically all the buildings along the road, including this one, are businesses. Because this is the main road that comes to here. It actually goes underneath the tavern, so it's under here. That's where it goes. And you can actually get out. There's like stables and whatnot on the first level of in there. of the Mother's Arms, because the Mother's Arms is multiple levels. And if you have a look, you'll see that the Mother's Arms, so there's sort of like a little, this roof here is over the entrance, same as this one. It's over the entrance. Then you've got basically this main, it's sort of 3 parts. There's this center section, and then there are 2 sort of big tower pieces of it. So it's sort of like, and then you've got to think as well, because the road, this road, it's actually what is it, 20 feet wide. So there's the road layer, but then it's 10 feet tall. It's actually built on top of an embankment. So this entire city, so this building here has a level that's actually built up. So it's actually on like a big base, and then it has a first level, and you know that would be where the first level is. Then it has a second level, and that's sort of like, so this is where stables and whatnot are in this first level, and then there's auxiliary kitchens either side, right? And then you come up to the next level, and it's basically a big beer hall. There are some little rooms, like little private booths, but it's basically a giant communal beer hall. It then goes up to another level, and this is all like rooms that you can hire to, you know, sleep in, to stay in. It's you know, it is an inn. And then on top of that, so that's, then you've got the roof of this section comes in here, right? So that's roof. You've then got another level, which is these 2 side pieces, and they're sort of accommodation for the owners. The owners and some of the staff live in these sections up here. That's basically the Mother's Arms Tavern, and then the whole village supports the Mother's Arms Tavern. But the interesting thing is that I'll get rid of that, because this road, if I come over back over here, you'll see it. So this road here, it's the Mother's sorry, not the Mother's Arms, the Trader's Way is built up. So you've got the main surface area, you've then got an embankment. Pardon me. You've then got the embankment. So every building, all of these buildings off the side here, so for example this building here, it has a base level that is built up to this road surface. It then has the actual building, and some of the buildings, this level here is actually built in. So for example, it could be, you know, like storage rooms, or it could be living accommodation, it could be whatever. But basically, yeah, that's all built in. So it's about 10 feet tall. Then you've then got the actual, you know, whatever it is, workshop, whatever like that. Then some of them have like another level, and then you've got your roof. There's your roof. So this town is actually dual level because the road surface is about 10 feet off the ground, which means that the town has, if I just get rid of all of this, so you can see that there's the road surface here, but then there's these wooden walkways that connect to it. So there's actually above and below these wooden walkways. And that's the village of Carlsberg. But the main reason that everybody goes to the village of Carlsberg is that they stop at the Mother's Arms. But there is also, outside, there is a graveyard. And this is where, so it's got the graveyard here. So there's these giant stone blocks that people can come and explore, but it's a graveyard. So there's all these are mausoleums, where the big prominent families of the town have, you know, buried their dead. But there's also, you know, little cemeteries around. I mean, not cemetery, little graves around. But a lot of people come to visit this structure, which is large stones, because these are all look like giant blocks that giants have dropped. So people come to view the giant stones, but they come to this grave, which is the site of a fallen warrior called Hans. Oh no, Franz Hauser is his name. So they all come along to this place, and there they can meet the ghost of Franz Hauser, and they can undergo a trial of skill, of the warrior's skill with Franz. And depending how well they go, he will either you know, give them recommendations, say, you know, oh, you know, you should be thinking of doing something else other than adventuring. You're not that good. Or he could be saying, you know, you're really good at swordsmanship. I see you will go far. And he could give you some pointers on, you know, where to look next on the great quest. And he will also give you the warrior's blessing, which is a bonus which you could decide to use in the future. So it's something, you know, quite good for coming there and visiting the warrior. So that's what I made recently, and is going to be in the reboot of the Warrior's Blessing adventure module. So let's just get rid of that. What I was also talking about last week was the this is the rough draft of the font of understanding. And I was going on about how the font of understanding works, and it's a multi-level. It's inside the wall, one of the mountain walls, and about how characters could possibly get around, and how I'm planning to build in 3D some of the objects that are going to be in the font of understanding. So we've got our rough draft. It's something that if I recommend, if you're building adventure maps, rough draft out everything. You know, pre-plan how you want the whole thing to work. It's a good way of sort of working out how your characters will get through it. So we've got the ground level, and it comes through to you know, here's the main shrine, and there is a illusionary wall just here. Just zoom in. So we've got an illusionary wall just here to this back area. So there's a little room here, and then there's stairways going down, stairways going up. If you go down, you go to the sump level. So that's that room with the stairway down, and you come through to the sump, which is basically where there's a device that takes the magic potion from the fountain above, pours it into a vat down here, where it is destroyed, because the potion turns into a poison over time, and it gets destroyed down in this room, which is the sump. And then from there you can also come back up. That's the classrooms. What was this one? So we have the shrine, and then we have the lab. So if you go up from the shrine up, so there's that little room, up the stairs into here, you will find there's this wizard's classroom, and there's windows in the wall above the shrine, which is below. And then I've got some drawings here, which I work out how I want to have some of the objects in the room, because I'm going to 3D model all this. This I'm still thinking about. I'm still pondering how this will work. I like this idea. Hang on, just go to there we are. I like this idea of let me just get rid of this. Let's just think about this a little bit more. Because the magical devices in this room will be powered by another arcane device, and I'm thinking so it'll have like a base like this. It'll come up. It'll come up to the top, where it will have a connector. And into this connector, you put a cube. You put it with one of the points down. And then there's another connector to another device, to another sort of and this one goes up to the roof, maybe? So something like that. And so when you put it's going to have these blocks, these square cubes. And originally I was planning that it would sort of look like a battery. I do like that idea because these cubes are going to be batteries. And the whole idea is that you take the cube, you put it into this device, and then this device spins, and it creates power. And the power is transmitted by what look like, cables. They look like copper cables that go around the room. From this platform they connect to, out to here and whatnot. But and that that will be embedded in the floor. So that's sort of this power unit. But I'm not certain about this design. I'm thinking we might go with keeping with the cube idea. So we might have something that sort of is reminiscent of the world of the cube. So it'll have, because I like the idea of this object being caged. So it'll have like actually if I just draw. Like this. So this. Let's get rid of that and that. So then we have just decrease the brush size of my eraser. So it comes down. Connects in. So it's actually like a block that's in like a metal housing, but not all, so it's going to have sort of like a maze-like pattern to it. Here's part of the idea. Maybe this one chops off about there. This, this sort of connects there, and then these ones, so maybe these two don't connect at all. Comes around like this, and then this is the, I like the idea of this is sort of like because I want it to glow, so glowing cubes, and this is why I like the idea of the housing, So this will be like a copper housing that's not glowing. That is, you know, containing a glowing something or other on the inside. So this will come along. So this will connect to here. Like so. Like that. So how's your Monday panning out? Have you got much planned for your week? Are you going to be busy, busy, busy? I'm suspecting I'm going to have a very busy afternoon. There we go. So you sort of get the idea. So this is it's a caged artifact power source. So it'd go, yeah, so you take this, you put it in there, and that would sort of power all the machines that are in this laboratory. But yeah, that was sort of what I was discussing last time. But this time, let's get back to doing some map building. If you don't know, I've been building a pack of map cards. So each map card is 10 by 10 grid squares. And the whole idea is that this is for a endless dungeon builder, for an endless dungeon crawl dungeon builder. And so what I'm doing is I'm actually making little maze map cards. So each map card is a maze, or you know, pieces to a building. So for example, I'm just adding in the walls on the edge of this map card. There we go. And, you know, let's just have this be a big room. So if you come into here, it's just a room. So I'm going to change this entrance and this entrance. I'll take them out. Put some end stone, capstones. So let's just zoom in a bit. Where's my zoom? Here it is. Fit image in window, that's a lot better. You can see the whole thing now. So we need a capstone. Put one there. And we need one just here, which is the same thing. Yeah, I'm building this using map tiles. If you go to my website, you'll be able to see this is Dungeon Map Tiles 6 pack, and you know, you can download it. Oop, don't want to use that one. Well, actually, do I want to use that? Yeah, I'll use that in this opposing corner. So there'll be a corner right here, right there, because this will be just a room. So if I put in so these are the walls that I'm putting down. There we go. So it's rather easy if you want to build your own adventure map. So that's, that's just a quick little room. And then if I just close down the walls, go into our floors folder, we can go and put our floor in. So let's put in our brickwork floor. So let us have, so we'll do normal bricks around the outside. There we are. So, and what I'll do is I'll put like an interesting little pattern in the middle. I'll use one of my 1x2 tile sections just to fill in that. There we go. Sounds like a big plane's going over. And then we'll look for, here we go. So this will create our floor pattern. Now I need this section. There we go. There, so that's one of our rooms. So when the map cards are put down to build a dungeon, you'll be putting them side by side. So these doorways will match up with map cards that are put down side by side. So let's build. So we'll do something over here. So I go to back to my brickwork walls and make certain I'm in the walls folder so that everything goes in the correct folders. So if we have, so we put a little room here, maybe a little corridor coming in. Like so. We could put a corridor coming into this room, so we can, we can come back and change it up. Like it's good to have a couple of map cards that are just complete random, so that way it gives players something interesting to explore. There we go, and then we'll put the floor in again. Let's use, oops, so we'll use these tiles. And I've got to put doorways in here, so I'll have to come back to that. Put in a corner. I've actually been thinking of making another map tile set just recently of doing it sort of in the same style of this, like little brick floor sections, but have them be like really opulent marble, like a really classy, really expensive looking marble texture. So it could be like map tiles that you will build a palace with, because it's all really glossy marble floor. But that's something for me to think about. I've currently got I'm working on the the adventure material for the warrior's blessing at the moment. So I need to get my tail into gear and get that finished before I really start looking at doing something else. But you know, you still think about these things. Okay, so that's the doorway I need to put in here. There we go. So we're in the walls folder, we're in the right place. Now, how will I connect up? Will I connect up? Don't have to. So let's put a dead end right here. Like here. Right there. But then this comes down this way. So we need a passageway. Like so. There we are. So then we need to fix up. There we go. So there's the opposite wall. And then the cornerstones. Where are we? There it is. So yeah, as you can see, you know, it's just to build your own adventure map using map tiles. Yeah, and I'm doing this all in a program called GIMP. All you need is map tiles, and it's just a case of drag and drop. Because you can do it block by block by block. I should have on YouTube. I should have a tutorial on how to build using map tiles if you're keen. Okay, so let's make a little room over here. And what I'm planning to do is I'll render the contents of this room, of these rooms, and then I'll add that in later on, which is why I have these in different folders, so I can actually put, you know, I can hide the floor, I can hide the walls, but then I can also put things between the layers, so I can put the contents between my floor and between my walls layer. Okay, so let's go back up, grab some corners, because you know, this in the dungeon, this could be a room inhabited by, you know, could be a room inhabited by a wizard, goblins, whatever you like, whatever you want to add to your adventure. So we're going to have to change this entrance. And, you know, give your players something fun and interesting to explore, and, you know, minimize the amount of work that you have to do for dungeon building. If you grab this, it's all pre-built for you. It's all ready to go. So let's go and put a floor in there. Okay, where's our floor? Brickwork floor. Here it is. So let's use our 2x1 to quickly, and our 1x2 quickly fills in a bit of floor. And then just add in 2 more tiles, and that will be our floor done in that room. And I'll quickly do over here. We do have pit traps. So what we could do is we could add in a pit trap just here to make it that difficult to get into here. So let's add in one that's got some water at the bottom. And there we go. There's a pit trap that our players have to find a way to circumvent to get into this room. Okay, let's go back up to our walls. Back to our brickwork walls. So we could have this just come down and connect to here. That way this makes a section that you can only get to from other maps. I like the idea of that. So where's our passageways? Here we go. So I'll have to put a cornerstone just there. But what we could do is if I get rid of this entrance, get rid of that, switch back again. So what I'm doing here, if you don't know, I'm changing the mode of the brush. So move the selected layer means it's just going to move, because I'm using the move tool on me, just going to move whatever layer I currently have selected. So I can click anywhere and it'll move that layer. But if I go to this mode, which is called pick a layer or guide, it means whatever I click on or click over, it'll grab that layer and allow me to move that one, which can be handy, but I find it can be, you can accidentally pick up. So for example, I might want to pick up this tile, but if I don't click on that artwork because there's a big transparent piece, I might accidentally click here and oops, I picked up the floor. Didn't mean to pick up the floor. So yeah, it can, this mode can be really useful, but it can also result in accidentally moving things that you didn't quite want to move. Okay, so let's go back up here and grab our cornerstones, and let's put a cornerstone in right there. There we go. So we could put a T-junction here. So let's have a think about that. But I'm liking the idea of having it going straight out. So let's go back to our passageways. So yeah, it goes straight out. So that'll connect to a different tile. There we go. Which means these are separate to this area here. So let's put in the floor. Go and switch over to the floor. There we are. And just fill it in. Wow, we're getting a lot of low-flying jets at the moment. I don't know whether you can hear that, but there's an aircraft flying over. Probably should close my window when I live stream, so you don't have to listen to aircraft going. But there we are. Okay, so what are we going to do down this section of the map? So let's go back up to our walls, because I like to use the walls to sort of guide how I'm putting together the map. Okay, so we're going to have, let's just say we have a big room here. Actually, no, we need we could have this as a corridor with a large room here. Like so. So if we're going two that way, and if we're keeping this square, it'll be that. So let's see how we can keep that. So that will be go there. Okay. So we put the wall in like so. Now, if you're on my Patreon, you can download these maps, the raw GIMP construction files, and edit these maps to be whatever you'd like. I do upload these at the end of the day to my. I have on my website a members only section called the Studio Dungeon, and in part of it there is a section called the Art Assets Browser, and I upload these maps after a live stream to the Art Assets Browser, so you can download a copy of the map, and you can download a copy of the map which also includes the GIMP construction file. So you'll actually get my raw layout of which I'm building here, which is, if you open in a GIMP, you'll see all these layers. And you could, if you decided to, change the map to be whatever you'd like. Okay, so that's going to be a little entrance. So I need to make some cornerstones. And make this come around. And we'll put it, put some doors in these places. Okay, but now we need to use some passageways. So that connects up there. So that's our large room. So that's connecting off to a map tile that way and a map tile down this way. Let's jump back up, grab this bit of wall. There we go. So this could turn around here, and then we could put a room here. So let's look at doing that. So if we put in a corner and another cornerstone, like so. And then we go back to our passageways and use this one to fill in there. And then we can use the others to make a passageway come up here. Just like this. If you've not used GIMP before, you'll notice that I've got a little grid here, which allows me to just place tiles really easily. So as you can see, that just snaps in place really quick right there. It makes map building very, very simple. That I can just plonk them down and they snap into place. Because this entire map building system works on squares. So each is a map grid square. And I'll grab another cornerstone, because I've got to put one there. Just like that. So we come around. Now, how are we going to do this? Are we going to have a large room, sort of like this, with a little room here? Let's do something like that, because that way each large room becomes something, where you can put desks and whatnot, and becomes something that the players can explore. So we jump back up, and I'm going to use these corners that have like a chunky little bit in the corner. I like those. And So we'll actually divide this in half. Like so. Which means I am going to have to take these doors out and change them around a little bit. So let's get our corners in first. Like that. Should we have this come down here? No, we'll just have it come in there. So we're not going to need a corner here. The wall will come along there. Just like that. And we'll have to put a piece here, which can be this one. Just like that. Then we'll need a corner. Right there. And then a corner and a cornerstone. I mean, a wall and a cornerstone. So we'll grab this one. There, like that. And a cornerstone. So I'll switch mode again, grab that, I'm just clicking on it to grab it, and delete that layer, and then put in, so we're going to need a corner, goes there, and then a flat piece. Here we go. So what I might do is put it, I'll see if I've got a double door. Let's have a look. Do we have double door? Single double door. Here we go. Now this is going to go into our features folder, but it will go right there. So let's grab it, move it up. Come on, move. My system's being a little slow. There we go, and we put that into our features folder. And then we have to do the cornerstones for the doorway. So let's go for there and then there. So these go in our walls. Oh, I'm just going to switch back the mode of the brush. Back to there. Good. Otherwise we could end up picking up stuff that I don't want to move. I just want to move the layers that I'm placing down. And here. There we go. So that room's done. We just have to polish this one, and this whole map will be completed. So let's jump back up, grab this wall, put that one there, and then over the other side. Now I've got to get rid of that, so again I'll change mode just so I can quickly grab that. Delete it, move back to the top of my walls folder and change brush mode, and polish off this wall. So that there, and then I need two sections down the bottom. Here we go. There and there and the corner. Here we go. That's that entrance into this area with a doorway there. So I'll pop some extra doorways in. So back up to our features. Where's our simple single space door? Here we go. Now I want some. I'll put a doorway here. So let's layer, transform, clockwise, and pop it there. Put another one here. Let's make this slightly open. There, like that. Then we should have a doorway here, but we probably should have a doorway here, so this is like a little cupboard. We'll have the cupboard. The cupboard door is open quite a bit, like that. We'll have this one closed, so we want to go layer, transform, rotate 90 degrees anti-clockwise, and it snaps into place right there. And then we want to have another one. We'll do it slightly open and turn it again. Where is it? Sorry, layers, transform, and let's go clockwise. So it opens, doesn't open into this room, opens in here. Now, let's go fill in the floor. Okay, so back up here to our floor. So one interesting thing that I could do is I could do like a different kind of floor in one of these sections. So let's just fill in the floor of this room. And then I'll go and grab a floor from somewhere else. From a different set, so that we have something, you know, it looks a little interesting. Maybe some tiles or something. Like that. And there, so yeah, this room sort of fills in. Then I'm thinking like have like a different sort of tile, like a fancy tile floor in this room, maybe, possibly, you know, just to make it look a little different to all the others. You know, could have a little special something along the way. So if I make another folder here, let's call it tile floor. There we go. So tiled floor. Actually, I'll come back. I'll quickly go and fill in the rest of this through here. Like I might do tiled floor in here as well. I think that'd look interesting. Just make this come down here. Quickly fill this in. Oops. Like so. So we might have something. Oh no, I'd have to do something in there. I'd have to make like a little platform. So we can have a platform in here. So I'll do this. I'll do it too wide. And then we'll see about making a platform in the other half of the room. Just like that. Okay, so I need to have the same thing here. Because you've got to have the same texture to what this is going to be mapping to. What it will be connecting to. So let's just do this. Like so. I might not actually put. So let's just put these in front of the door. And then just fill in the rest of the floor. Like so. There we go. Okay, so then we're going to put in like a little raised platform here, like a few steps up. So let's have a look. Okay, what can we... Do we have anything interesting in here? No. Let's have a look. Dungeon map tiles 4. This has got grungy concrete floor. No, not what I'm thinking of. I think 5 might be where I'm heading. Dungeon map tiles 5. Yeah, pink and red stone floor tiles is what I'm thinking of. Yep. Okay, so... or the stone floor. The stone floor might be... Yeah, possibly, because it's got steps. This is probably what I'm thinking of, except... No, it's not. That's not it. Why not go for something really different? Really different, given dark tech might be it. That's too drastic a different. How about I just go to my Egyptian map tiles, is what I'm thinking of. No, it doesn't give me the vibe I'm looking at for. Yeah, I'm just going to go back to... So this is where I currently am. Go 4. Oh, no. 3. Maybe? Looks a little bit dull. Where was I? Alright. I'm trying to think what I'm going to use. Where is it in 5? Yep. Let's have a look at the pink ones. Let's just go with this. This should be a nice change. Doing it in a different folder, so that way I can just hide the folder and put a different one in. So this will be like a rather expensive looking pink marble floor. just go and put the floor across like this. So it looks like it's a platform. Because it will have, if I just go and put the edge in, so it has an edge that overlaps like that. Yep. So that way, you know, so you can see what it's sort of looking like here. I might just zoom in. There we go. Oops. So it's a raised platform, or, you know, it's got some nice pink tiled floor over the top of the brickwork. So this could be like a little stage or something special. Could be kitchens. Could put, you know, kitchens against the wall. So there we go. So it'll, you know, makes it look a little bit different. So let's view the zoom. Let's go fit in window. So that's the whole map. There we go. So that map card is done. And I'll save that one out and add it to the list. So yeah. So thank you for tuning in. This is actually going to be a bit of a short live stream today because I've got a lot on this afternoon. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll catch you all next Monday. I'll probably do another live stream sometime during the week as I'm testing out some new live streaming software, and I've got a few other things that I need to live stream as well. So thank you for viewing. I hope you had a good time. I will catch you all next time. Oop, where's my buttons? I'm missing my buttons. Catch you all later.